Hi there, and thanks a lot for joining me today. I want to talk to you. I know last time, yesterday I didn't mention what we were actually going to talk about today, but I want to talk to you about ad design, and this is something probably, I should probably put this course together and sell it online, but I want to give it to you as a free gift just for signing up with me, because this is really where the rubber meets the road. If your ads, your creatives, do not pull, if they do not get people to act, then no amount of money that you dump into your campaign is really going to give you the results that you want. So assuming, I'm going to get everybody on the same page here, but assuming that you're brand new into this, we're going to go over some basic terms. First of all, we have the term creative, which I've already used. That's a little bit new for a lot of people, but that's basically an ad. In the media buying industry, a lot of times they're called creatives. That can be a text ad, it can be a graphical ad, but just basically your ad. We have a headline. A headline is the first group of text that a visitor or somebody that sees your creative is going to see. That headline, we're going to have to draw their attention with that, grab their attention and compel them to read the rest of the ad. That's actually the job of the headline, is to just get their attention and get them to read more. If the longer that we can keep them looking at our creative, our advertisement, the more opportunity, the better the chance that they're going to do what it is that we want them to do. And then we have the body. This is where more of the creative, more of the offer is explained, where they can see more details. For example, we might have a headline that says, "See how I made $10,123.48 in 72 hours." Okay, and then on the rest of the page, because we get a lot of room, really. There's a lot of variation with the sizes that are available to us for these creatives, but typically we get a lot more room than just a 4-line Google pay-per-click advertisement. So the body can consist of a lot more. Plus, the body can consist of some graphics, because we have a lot more flexibility with what we can do. You can even use flash animations with this stuff for this pay-per-view. So lots of flexibility there. We also need to have a call to action. I can't tell you how many times somebody, a marketer, an advertiser, has an ad that does not have a call to action. And people really need to know. They need to be told what to do next. So I see your ad. I am interested. What should I do? You've got to tell people what to do. Also, so a call to action really is, it's blunt most of the time. It just tells them, order now, or click here now, or something telling them this is what I want you to do. Even to the point sometimes that a call to action can literally say, whip out your credit card, click the button below and start your order. But we need to be very descriptive of what they need to do. A benefit is something that relays to the viewer, this is what you will receive by purchasing this product. A benefit is not a feature. A feature would be something like, 200 watts. But a benefit is something more like, you'll be the loudest guitar player on the block. Okay? That's the difference between a benefit and a feature. People want benefits, and your ad needs to show the benefit of whatever it is that you're offering. Here's your strategy. Before you sit down and actually create a layout, and you're probably not a graphics artist, right? So you're probably going to have somebody create this for you. But they're going to create what you tell them to create. So don't do what a lot of people do and just say, I need an ad. Instead, sit down and actually think about what it is that you want to say, because you have to have like a certain individual in mind. Think about what your ideal customer is and get them in your mind and say, okay, like describe them to yourself. Visualize your ideal customer and think, what would you say to that person if you were face to face with them right now? What is it that you're trying to convey to them? Then think, what do you really want to happen? What do you really want that person to do? Is it to go ahead and buy your product right now? Or is it to just get a lead, just get them on your list? You have to have a focus, because if you don't have a focus, then your ad is not going to have a focus, and then it's not going to be as effective. So you have to know who you're talking to, what it is exactly that you want them to do, and then focus on that very thing. If you can concoct or create your entire campaign based on the ultimate goal, that's going to be a more successful campaign. So if you're sitting down right now and you say, I want to build my list, that's what you're going to approach the whole thing with, and that's where all of your energies are going to go towards. And that's where you're going to be trying to funneling and directing people. Create urgency with your ad. It's now or never. Try to get people to have the feeling emotionally that they've got to react. They can't, they're running out of time. They've got to do something. They got to make a decision. So give them a reason to act now. And here's some examples. The auction is ending in 6 minutes. Registration ends July 12th. Only 100 will be sold. Or you could say, only 25 copies left. However you can create this urgency, do it. You know exactly what it is that you're able to put into your campaign. However, make sure that it is a genuine urgency. Don't just make it up, because you will actually, you're establishing a relationship with this individual right now. They come to your website, they see your advertisement. They come, to your squeeze page and they see your offer. They happen to see a pay-per-view advertisement and they see your ad. Your first initial contact with them, you're building a relationship with them. And if that relationship starts out by you deceiving them, it's not going to end up very well. You can also use the power of scarcity. Scarcity, especially when used in conjunction with urgency, will create a very, very powerful concoction. Scarcity is limited availability. Only 35 copies left. Scarcity makes people act. Perhaps I'm going to tell on myself with my age right now, but remember the Cabbage Patch Kids? There was people, and the same thing happens today, like with the video games and all the PlayStation and all that kind of stuff. People will be like beating each other up at the store because of the scarcity of some product, which is completely ridiculous, but they'll do it because scarcity makes people act. Nowadays, if you go into a store, if you can find a store that has Cabbage Patch Kids, there's nobody standing in line. There's nobody jumping over top of old people, beating them with a shopping cart to try to rip the Cabbage Patch Kids out of their hand, because there's no scarcity. There's so many of them there. But scarcity causes people to act, and that's what we want to try to create. When there is an abundance of things, we tend to not act. Where is the passion? And as a reminder, what we're talking about here is simply this. When you create your creative, your ad, there are certain elements that you want to hit on to make that advertisement more compelling. That's what we're talking about right now. Passion is one of those. Communicate the passion that your ideal customer has. If you have a weight loss product that you're trying to promote, or you have an acne skincare problem, some kind of product that you're trying to promote, whatever it is, remember how I said in the beginning, you think about who it is who's your actual customer. Don't look at a crowd of people. When you think of the 20 million people that are available on a typical pay-per-view network, don't think about that whole crowd of people. Think about one person. What is it that one person is feeling? What are they going to be passionate about? And then you want to try to touch on that in your advertisement. As an example, some of the kinds of things that people are very passionate about. Music, styles, bands, different things like that. Politics, people are real passionate about that. Education, religion, of course, gadgets, cell phones and MP3 players. I got an iPod or an iPhone, or, I got a Zune or an Android, all these different kinds of things. If you can work something in, depending on what your niche is, obviously you know better than I do even, but if you can work something in there that people feel a passion about, then that will cause a reaction. And sometimes, there are positive ways that we can use that, and there are negative ways that we can use that. If you have an advertisement that has a Chevy Ford comparison, or starts some kind of conflict there, you're going to get both sides of the story. Want to click on that and find out what the result is, right? That's the same kind of thing that we're wanting to provoke here. And we're not wanting to deal with people's intellect. We're wanting to deal with their emotions, because emotions make people act. If you get them to think about something, then that's all they're going to do. They're going to think about it. But if you get them to feel it, if you touch their emotions, then you will get them to act. Now, what you want to do is you sit down, you want to get a creative done, is you think about all of these things that we have talked about, what it is that you really want to say. Can you create some urgency, some scarcity in there? I'll give you an extra tip. If you can use the word free in your advertisement, a lot of times that has a lot of punch. Where is the passion? Can you communicate that passion to them? If you can get all of this stuff down, and granted, you're probably not a graphics design expert. That's okay. Go to elance.com or rentacoder.com, even guru.com, and you can get somebody to pretty inexpensively create an advertisement for you based on your criteria. And what I will do is tomorrow, as a matter of fact, I'm going to give you another video on some typical banner design so you can see kind of layouts, and I'll show you what things are powerful and what things generally don't work. And if you'd like to get started and find out some more information, of course, you can click the link on the right of this video. You can find out more about the pay-per-view advertising guidebook. I'll see you tomorrow.